You ever buy a house and get screamed at by your neighbor before you even put the key in the lock? Yeah, that's how my American dream started. This woman comes barreling out of her house, eyes wild, voice like a siren pointing at me with so much rage I thought she'd pop a blood vessel right there on the driveway. I'd literally owned the place for 5 minutes. No, really 5. And already she's yelling, "You can't live here. You stole my family's property." I mean, what do you even say to that? I hadn't even finished my coffee. Welcome home, right? Let me back up a sec because this whole saga gets even crazier. I'm Frank, I work in IT. My wife Beth's a nurse, and we spent the better part of a year getting crushed by the housing market every house we liked. Somebody else swooped in with cash and snatched it up. No inspections, no mercy. We were beat down and about to give up when this two-story colonial with a big yard pops up. Priced way below market, no bidding war, no desperate flippers just sitting there like some weird gift. I looked at Beth and asked, "What's the catch?" She shrugged. We decided to go for it anyway. Turns out the place belonged to Dorothy Miller, an elderly lady who passed away. Her nephew wanted to sell fast, looked like he had bills piling up. I almost felt bad for getting it at such a steal, but after what we'd been through, we figured we'd earned some luck. Boy, if only I'd known what kind of luck we were about to walk into. So on closing day, October 15th, 2023, I drive over keys in hand, feeling like $1,000,000, ready to snap a photo for the family group chat. That's when the show starts. Front door next door slams open. And this woman later, I'd find out her name's Nicole, comes storming across the yard like she's about to make a citizen's arrest. "What the hell do you think you're doing here?" she screams loud enough that the whole street peeks out their windows. I tried to play it cool, rolled my window down. Big friendly smile. "Hi, I'm Frank, your new neighbor. Huge mistake." She goes off the rails. "You can't live here. That house belongs to my family. You have no right to be here." She's shaking. She's red in the face. She looks at me like I'm some kind of burglar, not a guy with a folder full of paperwork and a mortgage hanging over his head. So naturally, I try to show her the deed. I figure maybe she's confused. Maybe it's a genuine mix-up. Nope. She won't even look at it. "That house was stolen from my family. The sale was illegal. You're part of the conspiracy." I swear my first thought was, did I just move into some kind of Netflix crime doc? Then she whips out her phone and starts dialing. "I need all board members here now. Someone has fraudulently purchased property in our neighborhood." Board members. I'm thinking, what board? I'm not even in her HOA. And yet within 15 minutes, half the neighborhood is gathering on her lawn. Here's where it gets real weird. These board folks look at my deed, check their own files, and say, "I'm legal, house is mine." But then one guy leans in and says, "This is the third ownership dispute about this address in the last few years. And your below market purchase. Well, some neighbors think you must know something they don't." I'm just standing there feeling like the star of a reality show I didn't audition for. What had I stepped into? Neighbors were peeking out, whispering, shooting me looks like I'd brought trouble to their quiet little street. The board eventually disperses, but Nicole throws this chilling line over her shoulder. "Enjoy it while you can, Frank. That house will return to its proper owner." And the way she said my name like she'd Googled my whole life made my skin crawl. I called Beth right away, told her everything. She couldn't believe it. "Maybe we should walk away," she said. And honestly, I considered it. But I've never been the kind of guy to get bullied, and Nicole was trying to intimidate us out of a home we worked so hard for. So I stuck around. That evening, as I tried to process everything, my phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. "Don't trust anything Nicole Nelson tells you about that house. She's dangerous. Document everything." That was the moment the hairs stood up on the back of my neck. Who the heck was warning me? Why did this feel less like a neighbor dispute and more like some suburban spy movie? So being the IT guy, I am. I started digging. Dorothy Miller had owned the house since the 70s. No Nelsons in sight. Nicole's claim of a family inheritance was a total fabrication. But it was her surveillance that got to me. She was always outside measuring, documenting, snapping photos of every guest who came by, filling out violation forms like she was the neighborhood's own private cop. I bought a Ring camera and within days caught her trespassing, measuring my garbage cans, claiming I'm conducting official compliance inspections. New owners must follow city ordinances. City ordinances, not HOA rules. That's when it hit me. She was weaponizing local government, filing false code violations, building a harassment paper trail. Then came another call from my anonymous protector voice, disguised dropping bombs. She monitors courthouse computers. Do your research from home, not public terminals. She's done this to 3 families already, all sold below market to the same trust. That's when the real picture formed. Nicole wasn't just some busybody. She was running a property acquisition scam, targeting stressed or vulnerable homeowners, harassing them until they sold cheap to her mysterious shell company. The next blow, Nicole somehow got my employer's number and tried to get me fired, claiming my behavior was damaging our company's reputation. That was her strategy: harass me legally, professionally, personally, and when all else failed, set me up for nuisance lawsuits. This wasn't just mean-spirited neighbor stuff, it was a system. She'd been doing it for years. Turns out Nicole's husband, Robert, was unwittingly helping her. His accounting signature on trust paperwork made it all look legit. When I confronted him, he went pale. He'd believed Nicole's story about helping neighbors move on from difficult properties, not knowing he was enabling fraud. My anonymous protector kept feeding me intelligence, including encrypted files. Logs of Nicole's harassment, evidence of her surveillance financial records, showing a pattern: elderly, sick, or struggling families, targeted city violations filed, harassment escalated, then a friendly offer to buy their house at a loss. Families like the Wilsons who lost their home during cancer treatment because of Nicole's relentless pressure. Things got even darker. My protector warned me Nicole was planning to frame me, plant stolen goods, get me arrested, force me to sell under legal pressure. So I went full-on detective logging everything, setting up cameras, gathering neighbor testimony, talking to other victims, and finally hiring an attorney. Anna Clark. She'd fought Nicole before. The pattern was undeniable. This wasn't just harassment. This was organized fraud, maybe even a federal crime. Nicole escalated, recruiting HOA board members, staging meetings, coaching people to file complaints, manufacturing evidence. My anonymous protector, who by now felt like some kind of guardian angel, kept me a step ahead. When Nicole filed a restraining order against me, accusing me of threats, we countered with hours of unedited security footage, emails, and at the last minute, photographic evidence from my anonymous friend showing Nicole bribing a city inspector. Courtroom drama. Like you wouldn't believe Nicole played the victim perfectly, but the judge watched the tapes, saw the corruption evidence, and dropped the hammer. Her petition was dismissed with prejudice, evidence sent to the DA for public corruption investigation. Nicole's world unraveled in front of everyone. Her authority gone, her reputation destroyed, her victims finally uniting and sharing their stories. The HOA ousted her. Neighbors who once hid behind curtains were crossing fences, comparing notes, realizing they'd all been played by the same predator. But the craziest twist, my anonymous protector finally revealed himself. Turns out it was David Miller Dorothy's nephew, the guy who sold me the house. He'd been investigating Nicole since she drove his aunt into a spiral of anxiety and ultimately an early death. David had set the whole trap, sold the house to someone he believed could withstand. Nicole supplied intelligence, collected evidence, and worked with my lawyer to build a bulletproof case. He told me, I used your case to bait her into exposing herself so no family would ever have to suffer what my aunt did. David's dedication turned his grief into a mission that ended Nicole's reign of terror. The community came together, started new watchdog groups, and restored the neighborhood. Nicole faced federal charges, her shell companies were seized, and for the first time in years, people felt safe in their own homes. You know, sometimes justice isn't a big Hollywood moment. It's a bunch of regular people refusing to be bullied. So what would you do if you found yourself the target of a neighbor like Nicole? Ever had an anonymous protector show up in your life? drop a comment with your story. I guarantee you won't be the only one. And if you stuck with me this far, hit that, share your thoughts about justice and subscribe, because this is just one wild chapter, trust me. The next story is even crazier.